Hi, this is Scott with eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at and installing our CURT OEM-Style Gooseneck Kit for 2021 Ram 2500. Our CURT OEM Gooseneck Kit is going to be for people that don't already have the puck system installed in the back of their bed. This is going to allow you to pull a gooseneck trailer. It's going to have the ball and everything with it. The ball is going to lock down into place. You just turn it and it's going to be easy to pull that right out. Now, when you're not using the ball or you're not pulling a trailer, another nice thing about this is how it's all flat. You can actually pop this plug in place, and that's going to keep all dirt and any kind of debris or anything you're hauling from getting down inside of your gooseneck hitch. This one's going to have your loops with it, so they're going to come through and they're going to be a good heavy-duty 5/8, so that's going to take care of your safety chains when you have your trailer all hooked up. And it's pretty easy setup. All you really have to do when you're ready to get towing is just pop the ball in place and then turn this little latch back, pop it down, and it locks it in place and you're all set to go. One of the things I like about this setup is this will come with a center locator. So that's going to mount on your gooseneck here and it's going to center up where your hole is going to go. One of the big things with installing these is people really get scared of having to drill a hole down through their bed or worried about not getting in the right place. So with that, it takes away a lot of the worry because you just drill a pilot hole up through the center locator of it and it's exactly where you need to run your hole saw is back down through that. So it takes a lot of worry out of that. Another nice thing with this too, you don't do a lot of measuring when you run your holes through where your loops go. Basically, you're going to do the same type of thing. You're just going to run a pilot hole through and then you're going to widen them out a little bit until your loops fit. It's a pretty heavy duty setup. Just make sure you take a look at your owner's manual and make sure that your truck is capable of that amount of weight. Now, if you have any questions or comments about this setup, or you have any pictures or anything to show us with yours installed, we'd be glad to see those in the comments below. Now, as far as installation goes, it is pretty straightforward. There are some pretty high torque ratings that you're going to have to deal with when you install this. If it's something you don't feel like dealing with yourself, or if you just don't have time, you can always take a look at our dealer locator and have something installed for you locally. But if this is something you feel like installing yourself, you can always stick around and watch our video and we'll help you get it installed. To start our installation, our vehicle did not have a spare tire on it. For the first thing you want to do is get your spare tire out of the way. And then the next step is going to be removing our heat shield for our spare tire. We're going to have 6 10mm bolts we're going to need to remove. Now the 2 10mm that are back behind here can be a little tricky to get to. They're part way back behind this and they're really hard to see. But what I did is this one here, I just used my ratchet without an extension and a long 10mm. The one over on this side, I kind of pulled this down after I undid this one and I'm going from up and behind with a 3-inch extension and a 10mm. So just take your time and you'll get it. It's just feel around for it back there. And once you get started, you should be fine. We can get our heat shield out of the way. We're going to want to lower our exhaust down some so it gives us a little more room to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cam buckle strap and I'm going to go forward a little more on the exhaust and get this in place. With our strap in place, we're going to have 3 isolators we're going to need to remove. We're going to need to remove this back one here, and we have 2 more right up there towards the first muffler. So what we want to do is spray down our isolators. You can use soapy water with dish soap and water mix, or you can use spray lubricant. So we just want to get both sides of that. And we'll do this on all of our isolators we're going to be removing. Now the best way to get these off of here is just take a pry bar and go against our exhaust and just get those to pop off. Okay. Now we have that one popped out off of the pin. Now we can move forward and remove the other two. After we have our isolators off, before we lower our strap, we have this little grounding strap that kind of mounts on one of our pins for our isolator. We're just going to go ahead and pop that off so that way it doesn't damage it when we lower our exhaust. Now with that off, we can start lowering our exhaust down a little bit. You just want to hold up on the muffler and let off our strap a little bit. Just let the exhaust come down just a little bit. Okay. Our next step is going to be putting our center locator in place. Your kit comes with this center locator, and you want to make sure that you have this because this is going to help center up our hole that we're going to drill in the bed. Another thing we want to make sure of is that these holes are facing the front of the truck when we lift it in place. And for our hardware, what we have is we have our large washer already placed on our large bolts. Okay. Middle line, there we go. Make sure our center's in there. Now we'll come back through and snug down all of our hardware. We have an 1 1/8" wrench and an 1 1/8" socket and ratchet. Now we'll come back through and torque down all of our hardware to the specifications listed in our instruction manual. These have some really high torque ratings, so make sure you have a torque wrench that is capable of reaching the high torque specs. After everything's all torqued down, I have my drill bit through my center locator and I'm going to drill up through the bed. That's going to be our pilot hole. Now that is going to be pretty simple. You just want to make sure you have a long enough drill bit to get through and make sure you're in the center of the center locator. Now we'll get pilot holes run through our safety chain loops. The larger drill bit and widen the holes. Now we're in the bed of the truck and we can see where our pilot hole came through of our center, and we're going to go ahead and punch out the hole with our hole saw. So when we get our bit centered, Now that we have all of our holes drilled, we want to come back through with a little bit of paint, and we're going to cover up all these little spots where we have exposed metal so we don't end up with any rust down the road. From underneath, we have our chain loops put in place. Now we're just going to take a washer, run that up, our spring, followed by our washer and our nut. Tighten this down until the bottom of our threads of our nut are flush with the bottom of our loops. Go a little bit and then keep checking and keep going a little bit. Now you can see we have that flush, and that's right where we want all of them to be. With all of our hardware put in place and everything torqued down and where we want it to be, now we're going to go back through and get our exhaust hangers put back on and our heat shield put back in place. And that was a look at our CURT OEM-Style Gooseneck Kit for 2021 Ram 2500. I'm Scott with eTrailer, and thanks for watching.